Welcome to Bingo Topics, where we're going to cover a myriad of things connected with the Philadelphia Eagles. First up here, Brandon Ayuk and how that's connected to our receiver situation, all the way to the great Eagles running quarterbacks we've had in our pantheon. What's up, it's your boy Cintron, come back at you with another analysis video, and kid you not, that's my real name. 5 Eagles thoughts. What happens with the third receiver spot, open practices, and more. So we're going to probably skip one of these topics because they're just blase. But let's get into the subtext. The 49ers would never trade Brandon Ayuk to the Eagles. I mean, not in a cold day in hell. They wouldn't trade him to anywhere else. So they, trying to hold him to that value until Ricky Purcell is up to speed. Because they're most likely going to, they might keep Brandon and him, but they're not keeping all three, the trio of wide receivers they have currently at the top of their depth chart. But the Eagles might be in line for a deadline deal that upgrades the number 3 receiver spot. And I don't disagree with that, because if Paris Campbell doesn't come through, and John Ross, I think, see him as a backup plan at this point, we're gonna have to address that just to have some viability if one of our guys goes down by way of Devonta Smith or AJ Brown. So let's get into it. So Brandon Ayuk says the 49ers don't want him back. What does that mean for the Eagles? I mean, diddly squat in the grand scheme of things as far as Philadelphia-centered storylines go. But weakening an opponent in the NFC, that would be a great boon for us. And he's a great receiver. He was the better receiver out of the duo of him and Deebo Samuels last year, because Deebo was hurt, compromised physically. He was the reason, part of the, 1/3 of the reason why they slipped during their 3-game stretch where they lost 3 consecutive games. And he's been a guy that's he's not as talented as Deebo, but he's just more consistent. And he's the one that keyed their victory in the Lions game, making that awesome grab off the top of that DB's head when the ball bounced back his way, because he failed to catch the ball, because that's why he's a DB, because he can catch. But he keys their attack. He's able to do so much, and he had only 75, I think, receptions last year, but like 13 or 14 yards. So he's a baller, man. He's a baller. He gets shit done, and he's gotten better, each and every season that he's been in the league. So he's not going to get paid by the 49ers, maybe, but if he does, they're most likely shipping Deebo out of town, because it just can't handle. They're already maxed out their contracts. They're not gonna add that on top and be squarely up against the cap when they have a garbage O-line, to be honest with you. But that's rich people's problems and first world problems in the NFL, and ones you love to see senior rivals have, because you don't want them to be doing too well. You want them to have their struggles here and there, and theirs is having a top-heavy roster. So, what will be the ripple effects of a Brandon Ayuk deal? Like I said, for us, it doesn't really touch us, but what can be had at the trade deadline? Who will we be looking at, and who will be available, because their teams are going nowhere. A guy, unexpected out of nowhere, he has come on in his first, second, third season or whatever, and he's expendable because they have requisite talent at the position, and he's just a bargaining chip at that point. But definitely, edge rusher, I could definitely see being a guy, because Howard Roseman in that last couple seasons, he traded for, what's his name, Robert Quinn. Didn't work out, but, he made that trade for the fourth, sacrificing that 4th round pick. We traded a safety, and all that's, defensive backfield, to bolster our back four. And, it didn't work out with Kevin Byard, but, how he's willing to flip those picks to make, those calls and to take the risk, the inherent risk that, a flop might, garner. So, hey, no risk, no reward. It really is true. But, Paris Campbell had a fine spring. I want to really see in training camp how, things look. Do we need to make a move? We'll assess things and sort them out. But first, you got to get the guys in the pads and in the squelching heat of training camp, see, who's purified by the fire and who just falls to the wayside. So, Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson, I don't see really one of them stepping up like that, but it could happen, but I just doubt it, because they're rookies, and receiver isn't such an easy position to pick up. And they're not they're not physically gifted with a tremendous amount of refined skills at this point. Let's see. Up next, the Eagles will hold just a single open practice. Why? They can do so much more, and we could get to see them more. I'm wholeheartedly against this. I don't want to see more. Less is more for me, because I want us to remain a secret, and behind closed doors. I like that that phrasing, because I don't want the world knowing what we're doing. I don't want the world knowing what we're up to, who's improving, and having being able to keep tabs on the Philadelphia Eagles. I want that to remain a front office secret, and we're unveiled upon the 2024 season unfolding, and we'll get to see it the same time they do. I'd hate for prying eyes, to be able to spy on us, and not to say our operation is greater than most. We're in the top echelon, for sure. But yeah, any advantage that can be had, they're searching for it. So I'd rather keep those things behind closed doors and keep those secrets hidden until we're willing to bear them, full front noodle in the 2024 season. So I'm not a big guy, on practices being watched and guys being able to take notes and video and process information and gather intel. So, all right, the number, I don't really care. It doesn't look sexy to see Josh Sweat switch from 94 to 19, but hey, if he wants to, more power to him, man. All right, Jake Elliott as one of the game's best kickers. You look at his field goal percentage since 2017, 50-plus yard field goals. He's 26 of 37, 70%, tied with Harrison Butker, and a shade over Justin Tucker. He's younger than both of them. He's 29. Butker, he might be around the same age, but Tucker is like 30, in his 30s, early to mid 30s. So he's just a great man. He's made some kicks. I mean, 2 last year. Definitely the one to send us to overtime versus the Commanders, and then the swirling win, the 59-yarder that was made necessary due to back-to-back penalties by Kelsey. Such a rarity, but just bailed us out, and that was the last great victory we had over the Bills, that season. So last season. But that being said, man, Jay just he's such a clutch player, and he really makes up as rookie. He kicked us to the Super Bowl win, and where would we be without him? Certainly a couple losses heavier. All right, the Eagles have won over the years with elite running quarterbacks. I mean, Jalen Hurts is our current, but it goes all the way back to Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb definitely succeeded him, and then Michael Vick, surprise, here he wasn't supposed to be anything more than a backup, but having those guys in the pantheon is just really carries on the tradition, and Jalen has the ability to supersede them all, being the best out of all of them by way of passing the football, and his running skills are a mix of McNabb. I think he's greater than him, and better than Cunningham, but lesser than Vic. But I'll take that, because he's such a powerhouse. Like he's so powerful, the way he runs the ball. And the league we're playing now is softer. It's more quarterback friendly. I like that. He's able to take advantage, and like the Vikings touchdown, that would have never happened years past. They would have lit his ass up, but he's able to stretch out the arm confidently because he knows he's not going to be blasted. Without fear of a penalty being pursued. So, anyways, man, those are the topics. We're gonna get up out of here, but hey, I know the truth of the matter is that you're not even watching, but it's all good because I love making these videos and I love talking about the freaking stinking Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll talk chunk deuces officially, but as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.